First question.
Well, it seems the fight already set for UFC 189 in International Fight Week. That has to feel pretty huge for you to have that type of stage.
Yeah, it's absolutely phenomenal. It's exactly what I set out to do, and now here we are. July 11th, the belt will be clicked around my waist.
But are you at all upset that it will be happening in the stadium that had been talked about for so long?
I feel the stadium will still happen. It's there. A few issues came with the small few issues with the curfew. We would have eliminated the pay-per-views. The American pay-per-view market. So if you factor in the fact that it's a 90,000 seat stadium, and then the gate, the size of the gate, but then you factor in a smaller gate in Las Vegas, but with the pay-per-view buzz, it's bigger business in Las Vegas, and they cut me in on the sweet pay-per-view, so the stadium will have to wait.
Well, your fans certainly don't ever have a problem coming over here to see you.
And that's another thing. How can I complain? This is that Vegas fight feel, that fight week feel. When the Irish descended on the fight capital last time for the Poirier fight, it was something to behold. And now we're coming back in search of gold now. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be something special. So I cannot complain. It's a dream come true for me.
You're one of those athletes who seems to want to control not just his image but also his money. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I feel you should be in control of your own finances. You should be. I don't have a manager. I have people. I have agents and people who work for me. But I am in control of everything that goes on in my life, inside and outside. And that's the way I feel it should be. If I look at other athletes from maybe boxing or something like that, or even in MMA, they let people take advantage and take control of their situation. Nobody takes control of my situation except me. I am in control inside the octagon and outside the octagon.
What do you contribute this very, very strong confidence to? Is there something in your childhood, in your past? Where do you get this extreme confidence?
I don't know. I'm just being myself, and from looking around and from knowing myself and not know yourself to know others, as Bruce Lee said. I feel that rings true, and I know myself, and I don't know. I'm a confident man.
She mentions money, but I remember you said something along the lines of you like to spend all of your purse from your last fight just to keep yourself hungry. How much of the last fight card, the payout, have you indulged in so far?
Well, I actually haven't had time to even stop and think, and I think I'm kind of liking that. Just keep the train rolling, keep going, and keep focused, and straight back into the gym. I think I'm grown up a little bit, but don't get me wrong, I still like it's getting harder to spend it, let's just say that.
There were initial reports that the fight was going to happen in May. With all the momentum you've had, are you at all frustrated having to wait all the way until July?
I mean, when they rang me and told me that it wasn't going to be May 23rd, I mean, it's longer. I would rather I like to be kept active. But July 11th is the bigger date, International Fight Week. It has the international appeal. So you put the big dog on the big date. So that's what they done. July 11th it is, and I'm planning on competing in a jiu-jitsu tournament which is in Rome in April, early April. So that'll be a nice little break and continue training, and it'll be good to keep active in another sport.
Connor, you're the face of Irish MMA, obviously, but that also comes at a price. It seems the UFC a bit apprehensive about returning to Ireland without you. How do you feel about that? That maybe they won't hold another event or what?
I tell you what, that's an interesting one. Right? I have the stadium locked down. You bring me back, we can do the stadium 5 times over. But we've got many athletes coming up, Paddy Houlihan, many guys representing our nation that are on the way up. I could easily see, and the fan base in Ireland. Let's talk about the fan base in Ireland. We have a serious fan base for sport in Ireland, not just for me. A lot of people know me and don't know the sport yet, but it's crossing over. But even before that, there's a serious fan base. You go back to UFC 93 when they first came to Dublin, it sold out, and there was no one on the card. No one even knew about it, but there was still that cult following. Let's talk about yesterday at the Q&A. There was the amount of Irish people here for this event alone. Some guy stepped up to the microphone with an Irish flag wrapped around him and said, ask me my opinions on Nick Diaz. We are fans. He said, we are fans of Nick Diaz. We have followed him around the world for the past 6 years watching his fights. So that's the kind of fans we have in Ireland of the sport, let alone me. So we could easily bring it back with or without me. You put Paddy Houlihan, you put Carl Hendry, you put these guys on the card, and we could do the O2 again easily.
Jose Aldo has been described as the kind of fighter that if you push him, he'll push back even further. If you don't push him that much, he might quote-unquote coast to a victory. I know you're very confident, but how do you see him stylistically? Because certainly you're going to push it.
I'm gonna sprint straight for him. I won't give him a second. I'm gonna go in with my hands raised. I'm gonna be talking to him while I'm whooping him at the same time, the same way I do to them all. I feel Aldo has made a career out of being short, stocky wrestlers that are not good on the feet and more intimidated on the feet, and they shoot from halfway across the cage. I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna break him. I'm gonna be on top of him from the bell. I will break Jose Aldo.
And we should ask about that confrontation you had after your fight. I know we talked about it a little. You talked about it at the Q&A, but what did you feel like you saw in his eyes when you jumped out there?
I saw his eyes turn to glass. Yeah, you can laugh and you can smile all you want, but I could see it. You know what I mean? Where was he when it was time to step into the cage? You know, he was flown over to step into this cage, but all of a sudden, superstition. He was superstitious for some reason. He doesn't step inside the cage, and that's unless he's fighting. But that's funny because there's many occasions where he hasn't been in the cage where he hasn't fought. Superstitious to me is another word for fear. I will break him mentally, and I will break him physically.
Well, he's not used to. He's not used. Aldo is not used to talk, trash talk a lot with his opponents. But he brought a poster to your fight.
Yeah, it was cute.
How did you see that? Do you think you were kind of getting to his mind?
I thought it was a stupid little poster. I mean, they make these little videos of these stupid posters. It's amusing to me. Yeah, he was in a little clean outfit, a little cheap piece of shit it was, to be honest. But I don't care. I'm going to get in and I'm going to break him, and that's all there is to it.
Is it not more fun having an opponent who is willing to sort of indulge you with the stuff?
It is what it is. I'm not trying to get anybody to indulge me in anything. I'm just calling it like it is, you know. Yeah, I'm sure for the fans enjoy it and it builds it up. But me, it's business.
Do you think because you're so unpredictable, that's maybe what Jose fears the most, is he has no idea what's coming?
I would say so. Yeah, I don't fight like anybody else. I don't throw shots like anybody else. I don't move like anybody else. So it's hard to prepare for a guy like me. And then you're talking with the pressure bubble that comes with fighting me. It's not like fighting a normal man. I don't think people realise that until they are involved in it. And then there's these type of things going on. I mean, people shut down with that. Emotions play a big part in combat. So for me, it's another day. I've been doing this since I'm in here. So we'll see. I feel confident that he will not be able to handle what I bring.
You often talk about visualizing the finish, and you say that often you do see how that is going to come about. Have you done that at all with this
fight?
Yeah, I
think around the 4-minute mark of the first round, I feel I'll knock him out.
Now, you mentioned emotions a minute ago. People get very emotional when they talk about you. I literally had about a 20-minute argument with somebody last night who just refused to believe that you have talent. They feel like you spoke your way into a title fight. Why do you think it is that some people react to you in such a negative way?
I don't know. Emotions generate cash, so I don't really care what they say. Love me or hate me, as long as they show up and they pay me.
Connor, you have that sort of like karate type of movement that we don't see very often, maybe Lyoto Machida and a few other guys. Can you talk about that use, and do you think that's part of what's stumping guys with you?
Yeah, 100%. You know, when I first trained with Connor Nelson, I got to feel that karate style base and that approach, and it's definitely people underestimate the stance and the wide range. They underestimate it until they're in there, and when they're in there, it is too late. But then you have my boxing background, which is what I came up in. So people think closing the distance is the answer, but I am phenomenal in the pocket. I've been in the pocket my whole life. You know what I mean? Growing up boxing my whole life. I live in the pocket, so I have that range. And when they're forced to push and try and close that range, then they're in the pocket with me then. And all of these things combined, it's too late for them by then. You know, I just need one clean shot, and it doesn't even have to be in the soft part of the face. It can be around the skull, it can be around anywhere, and it's over.
Connor, with your meteoric rise, you've gotten so much time on the spotlight. Has that at all detracted from the time that you spend at the gym or your focus there?
You know, evolution is key to this game, and things change. You know, you must adapt to every situation. And I travel a lot now. They have me here, they have me there, so I just stay on the flow. I don't even ask the time anymore because I'm in a different time zone every week. It feels like, so I just go where I am there, and I train wherever I am. You know what I mean? Today I was training in the suite. In the hotel, I got a great workout in, full body workout, you know, body weight exercises are phenomenal. I always like to do them animal style movements, so I get my training in wherever I am. I stay in shape, I stay on my diet, My flexibility is getting better every time. I continue to grow. Now we have this I think it's 5 months to the fight. So the guy that fought Poirier to the guy that fought Siva was much more evolved, much more aware of the frame of movement. I can only imagine what stage I'm going to be at come July.
Connor, you mentioned that 155 might be in your future. How do you see a fight with Anthony Pettis going, you think?
Yeah, I think it'll be a great fight. Definitely 155 is in my future. Anthony is phenomenal on the feet. He's got good jiu-jitsu. I feel it'll be a great fight. It's definitely a fight I have my eyes on.
Guys, last question.
A lot of people criticize your rise, saying that you haven't fought a wrestler and therefore this contender spot isn't technically deserved until you've done that. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I love questions. I love that the fans have these type of questions, the wrestler question. When I dispatch Jose and wrap up my belt, then we can go and answer the wrestler question, even though it's a myth in my eyes. But if it's a question the fans want answered, if they're going to pay for the pay-per-views, they're going to show up and see the American wrestler take me down, well then, let's do it.